viewers, a few years ago, the National Human Rights Commission had confirmed that Kairana in Uttar Pradesh was the site of an Hindu exodus. In the next few moments, I will quote out of that particular report. As many as 250 families had left alleging discrimination at the hands of the Muslim community, and not just ordinary members. This was not directed at ordinary members of the Muslim community, but certain elements, viewers. Certain elements that were politically empowered, connected, and most importantly, had bigoted sensibilities. The Samajwadi Party has put Kairana, viewers, right back into the news. It was always a communally sensitive constituency, especially since about 7 years back. But it's now back in the news firmly. Why? Because the Samajwadi Party, led by Akhilesh Yadav, has handed Nahid Hasan, who is in jail under the Gangster Act, a ticket to contest from here. Yes, viewers, jailed under the Gangster Act gets a ticket. He was already the sitting MLA. Now, viewers, if an individual is facing charges of this nature, propriety, moral propriety, forget anything else, demands that you let the investigation get over. Don't have to feel them. Wait for the outcome. Now, obviously, viewers, the move has raised eyebrows, as Hasan is known to have made communally colored speeches. Apart from using muscle to intimidate the administration, his speeches are on record. The BJP feels that the decision to give an allegedly bigoted gangster a ticket is the Samajwadi Party's way of polarizing the election and intimidating the Hindu community, sending a message. Now, obviously, the Samajwadi Party, viewers, has hit back and said that we don't really need much encouragement because the BJP has also given tickets to communal hotheads and those who have railed against the minorities. And they've listed several such occasions. Well, viewers, that may not be untrue. But if you are in the business of providing an alternative, a refreshing alternative from what we've already got, and that's what Akhilesh says he's doing, should we be following in the same vein, if at all? That's the fundamental question tonight. Let's open this up, viewers, because we have obviously a very, very, very hotly contested election. That's the backdrop. The stakes are significant. But how far should political parties go? Before we open this up, actually, let me acquaint you with some of the remarks Nahid Hasan has made that make him an agent provocateur. He threatened the police. He says, we're not in uniform. I will show these policemen. They have no clout. That's what he said. It's on record. It's on tape, viewers. He's made personal barbs. He said Mayawati sat on Modi's lap, not once, but thrice. Cheap, very cheap. Not the kind of sophisticated language one should be expecting to hear from a legislator. He's promoted enmity. He appealed to Muslim brothers to stop buying goods from Hindu shops. That's also on record. Let's try to play that out. Let's play it out.
कैराना का सराय का एरिया है जहाँ अभी हम खड़े। यहाँ मेरे वालिद साहब ने, हमारे बड़ों ने इन सभी गरीब लोगों को यहाँ बसाया था और आज से नहीं कई सालों से ये लोग यहाँ बसे हुए थे। कुछ भाजपा के लोग हैं और कुछ भाजपा दिमाग वाले जो अधिकारी हैं, उन लोगों ने ये साजिश रची इन गरीब लोगों को यहाँ से हटाने की और इन्हें कह दिया कि ठेली जो है वो यहाँ लगेगी। अब ये बता दो यहाँ कौन आदमी जो है आके इनके खरीद लेगा? इनका रोजगार ठप कर दिया, इनके घर उजाड़ दिए यहाँ से। मेरी आप सभी से ये अपील है, सभी कैराने के लोगों से, और आस पास के जितने भी गांव के हैं जो यहाँ कैराना में सामान लेते हैं, ये मेरी हाथ जोड़ के आपसे अपील है, इन भाजपा के जितने भी लोग जो यहाँ बाजार में हैं, इनसे सामान लेना बंद कर दो। सबकी बेहतराई इसी में ही है। थोड़े दिन का कष्ट उठा लो, इधर उधर ले लो। ये जो बाजार में ये जो लोग भाजपा के बैठे हैं, इनकी तबीयत में सुधार आ जाएगा। इन्हें पता चल जाएगा जो है हमारे पैसों से ही हम जब चीज लेते हैं तब इनका घर चलता है।
It was a very long diatribe. We've only pulled out a little part of it, viewers. Obviously, no one wants to inflame passions. Amit Shah was there, of course, a couple of days back in Kairana. He had gone to call on some of the constituents. It's also a peculiar constituency because here, almost 75–80% of the population belongs to the minority community, and the Hindus are in the minority, so to speak. Let's open this up, viewers. Dr. Ranganathan, let me ask you this. When the NHRC, and I can read out copious paragraphs from the NHRC report, has confirmed that there was a serious law and order situation in Kairana, that there was a systematic attempt to intimidate a particular community on account of the community there that is in dominance, and there was an exodus. Should one have fielded a agent provocateur of this nature?
Good evening, Rahul. Look, this was to be expected, and this is quite deliberate, with intent. There is no, let us not be in qualms about it, let us not be in two doubts. The fact of the matter is, Rahul, that the exodus that transpired a few years ago in Kairana, if you were to believe the Hindus of Kairana now, it will happen again. And this time it would be overnight. And these are not my words. I'm quoting from a report done by the New Indian, a ground report. Kairana is fast approaching 93% Muslim population. We have to accept the fact that demography is destiny. Now this SP candidate, you yourself played a few clips, but I don't have the time or the inclination. It would take more than 10–15 minutes to tell how bigoted, proudly bigoted this man is. He was openly asking for Muslims not to buy goods from Hindu shopkeepers. And if you remember in 2019, BSP, Bahudin Samaj Party, fielded a candidate called Haji Qureshi. What was his claim to fame? He was the man who had offered 51 crores to anyone who beheaded Charlie Hebdo journalists. He lost by just 5,000 votes. So there is popularity for these kinds of candidates. So, Rahul, as you know, we can discuss the politics, but here, if I may, in order for your viewers to understand what is actually happening in India, one needs to delve into the philosophical and psychological moorings. Let us be under no illusion. The situation is intractable. It hasn't changed for 1,000 years. Why on earth would it change in 10 or 20? In fact, if you look at Kashmir, to which I will come to in a minute, the exodus has already happened. You, Rahul, you are one of the victims. And the state, including the legislature and the judiciary and the executive and the press, has exhibited its impotency for 30 years. Rahul, we have to accept what Ambedkar said. The brotherhood of Islam is not the universal brotherhood of man. It is the brotherhood of Muslims for Muslims only. That Islam is a closed corporation, and those who are outside the corporation, there is nothing but contempt and enmity. We have to accept what Rabindranath Tagore said, that Islam has a distinct enmity against other religions, that it is not satisfied with observing its own religion, but is determined to destroy all other religions, that the only way to make peace with it is to embrace it. And finally, we have to accept what Karl Marx said, that for Muslims, the world is divided into two nations, Darul Islam and Darul Harb. Rahul, please understand, it is the duty of every Muslim to help convert Darul Harb into Darul Islam. But while when taking precaution against them, you talk about al-Taqiyya. If Muslims are under infidel authority, behave loyally to them with your tongue while harboring either animosity. Now, do these words hurt people? Are these my words? The problem is, I would be branded as bigot for just quoting Karl Marx, quoting Rabindranath Tagore, quoting Ambedkar. Why? Because these are uncomfortable truths. The fact of the matter is that Kairana would be another Kashmir Valley.
Okay.
Well, look, it's impassioned. Dr. Anand Ranganathan making this really a huge provocation, if one were to take him completely at face value, and I have no reason to think that he hasn't done his research. Now, I want to bring in Abhishek Sudhir, who is, of course, a card-carrying member of the Samajwadi Party, happens to be an advocate. There is also Saba Naqvi, journalist, senior journalist, and there's, of course,
I'm laughing. I can't get
Mr.
over.
Jha.
Let me laugh a bit.
Now, Saba Naqvi, you may laugh,
No,
but the
laugh.
NHRC on point
I
12 of
wanna
its
laugh
report
at
said,
what you are
one
allowing.
second,
I
you
was
can.
told an election
You can
debate.
laugh.
You know,
You can laugh off. No, one second.
You can't invite
I
these
was
pity
told
party
this is
journalists.
No, you can laugh off.
Don't come prepared.
No, one second. Okay, let's not. Okay, hang on.
But I
Dr. Ranganathan and Saba Naqvi, let's not.
How dare you?
No, one second. Look, I don't know why we are going into this. Please, gentlemen. Okay, Saba Naqvi, look, you can laugh, and you know, we are just going to go down this spiral. Okay, please.
Let us not go back. Let us not go down the same road again.
Please.
I have once exposed the
Okay,
pity party
please.
journalists. I can expose the
Let me
pity
step
party
in.
journalists again.
Let me step. Let's not make this personal. Okay, let's not make this personal. Please, I'm stepping in. No one is allowing anything. I am 1 minute. Please.
Otherwise, I have
1 second, please. Saba Naqvi, he's.
Everyone here.
Yeah, but don't. Let's not all make it. Okay, fine. 1 minute. Can I step in here and restore some order, please? Look, 1 second. Lower everyone's faders. This is not happening like this. Please, look. We are here to argue an important point. Please, Saba Naqvi and Dr. Ranganathan, I've lowered your faders. Please, let's come back to the point. I don't want to actually descend, down this rabbit hole of, recriminations. Let's just keep this above board. I know there is a bit of a history between the panelists here, and let's not open old wounds. Let's just keep this straight. Now, look, you're all on mute. So, Saba Naqvi, I can't hear you, please. I'm deliberately stepping in here. I'm exercising my authority to silence everybody so that we have a 10, 20, 30, 40-second pause, and then I'll come back to you. Please, let's disengage. Let's take a step back. Now, Abhishek Sudhir, I want to read clause 12 of the NHRC report. This is serious. At least 24 witnesses stated that the youths of specific majority community in Kairana town passed lewd, taunting remarks against the females of the specific minority community in Kairana town. Now we know the demographic split here. Due to this, females of the specific minority community in Kairana town avoid going outside frequently. However, they could not gather courage to report the matter to the police for legal action. Some of the displaced persons also verified that it was one of the reasons for their migration from Kairana town. Now you have an individual and registration of 3 FIRs under section 294 IPC and PS Kairana by the police and the SI on duty clearly proves that such incidents used to occur against the females of the specific minority community in the context of Kairana. And there are several other points about dreaded, notorious gang leaders who are known to be associated with this particular candidate. Now, why would you want to appoint someone who was part of this, and there's no other way of saying it, sir, but attempt at unsheathed communal provocation? Why would you do it, sir? Is winning so important?
Yeah. If I may? Right.
Yeah, I can.
I want to start.
Mr. Sudhir.
Yeah. I want to start by
apologizing to Saba. Saba, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what you've had to go through for the last 7.5, 8 years in this country.
No, don't worry about that.
There are good
You
Hindus
answer.
out there.
Look at what the 47...
There are good Hindus out there.
No, 1 second. What about
we will take
the
our country
24...
back,
No,
Saba.
1 second. What about
Saba,
the...
we will take our country back.
What about the
faith.
females?
Saba,
You should be
we will take our
apologizing
country
to the
back.
females of Kairana who had to put out with this lewd
So do you want to
lewd
hear? I have
attack
actually been
on
to
their
Kairana.
modesty.
You want to hear
Now-
or you don't want to hear?
No,
You know?
well,
Anyway,
I would like
you
to
have a
cede my
binary-
time.
if you're going to all,
Sorry.
I would like to cede my time to Saba.
yeah,
I'm
okay.
happy for Saba.
Okay.
Naturally,
So
you
let
would
me
want to
talk.
cede your time to
Let
Saba
me
because
talk,
you don't
Rahul.
have anything to say in defense. You
I
don't know
have
what
something
to
to
say when you have gone down the same route. I'm coming to you. Please give me 30 seconds. I'm not going to stop anybody from speaking. I only stepped in because you said, are you going to do something about this? And I stepped in and I brought
Let
some
me
order.
finish.
So let's
let
go
me
back
have a
now.
say.
One
Let
minute.
me have a
So,
say. A couple
viewers,
of facts
one
about
second.
Kairana I
Viewers,
would like
please
to share
note
with
that the
you.
Samajwadi Party representative, Mr. Abhishek Sudhir,
Sir,
has
I am
given
not their
the
representative.
question complete
Sir,
pass.
I am a political
because
analyst.
He could not
Please-
bring himself
please
to
get the
respond.
record.
No, you are associated with
Please,
the
I am
Samajwadi
not their
Party, sir.
representative.
They have told us this on record. You are a card-carrying member of the
Good.
Samajwadi Party. You may not be a spokesperson, but you are
Ram
a
Pratap
card-carrying
Singh
member.
on air has said he has nothing to do with
secondly-
me. I am not a member of the party.
Secondly,
I'm not.
Second. Okay, you're
Please
not a
allow
member.
Saba to
Says
speak. I
Abhishek
want to hear
Sudhir.
what
Fine.
she has to say.
Do you not even have a view on this particular issue, since you talk so much about communal hate that comes your way, Islamophobia, etc.? Do you not even have a view, sir? Or have you lost any
I feel
ability to make
that-
a valid argument?
I feel that Saba has a more informed view. So I would like to hear what she has to say, and then I
Right.
will promise you,
you
I'll give you
basically
mine.
show up on television ill-informed to spread gossip, is it?
So you
I mean,
keep inviting me,
this
sir.
is a
What
very
can I
poor
do?
reflection on
It's
your
hard
own
to resist.
standing.
Thanks, sir.
On your own standing
You
as
don't hear
a
me, I'll also go,
spokesperson
yeah. I don't have
of a
to
particular
with you.
persuasion.
I have
Okay.
no compulsion, no
Okay,
desire.
Saba
You want to
Naqvi,
hear me, I'll have
Saba
something.
Naqvi, why would Akhilesh Yadav provoke the Hindu community,
Yeah. I'll answer that.
needle
So
the
please-
few Hindus
yeah.
there? Is this a message
So
to
a little
intimidate them? Where are we coming from here?
Should I? First of all, the person who started the story about the Kairana exodus was a gentleman called Hukum Singh. You may know the history of Kairana, which I do. It's a Gujar-dominated area. The family from which Nahid Hasan comes and Hukum Singh, whose daughter Mriganka is the BJP candidate, was the same Gujar clan. Then one side became Muslim and one side remained Hindu. And Nahid is won in 2017, his mother won in 2018, his father won. Hukum Singh also, so this Hukum Singh, who said there was an exodus, later withdrew. But if you want to insist there's an exodus, you can insist. I will ask you one thing. Should Mr. Teni remain
I'm not
the minister?
insisting. The NHRC has made this. No, the NHRC has come out, ma'am. I'm
Have you
making
not
up
seen
facts.
the research?
Should I send you
Have
the
you not
report? I
seen
can send
that
it to you right now on WhatsApp.
Please, there was no exodus in Kairana. What Kairana is famous for all over India is
so
the
there
Kairana Gharana of music.
Right.
You may not have heard of that. It was great export of Kairana, Gharana
Okay.
of music. But on the ground,
Right.
actually there is no
Right.
fight between the two families also. It is just election posturing.
Okay.
And Nahid
So it's all-
Hasan, his mother won.
It's all
He won in
hunky-dory. So
2017.
then let me
His
play out.
mother-
Now
no,
viewers,
this
just
is
a minute.
constructed.
What kind of an individual? No, he's
You
an
don't- you
angel.
won't
He's
allow
an
me.
angel.
Rahul, you
And
will
what
allow
kind of
one
angel?
side to talk. Listen, you will not allow me to finish my point.
you speak.
I
You
am
can give
making
me
a
your
point
history,
here.
geography. Go
I
ahead.
want to know, is Mr. Teni,
Make-
he's a
make two
MOS.
points.
He is a gangster. Mr. Vikram Saini from Muzaffarnagar, not far from Kairana, who's a gangster, was made to run away. He's a BJP MLA.
Have I not
You know all
come
this,
into
right?
debate as yet?
You know all of this. You know this, right? These are
1
facts.
minute. Let
You
her
know
finish.
that Mr. Teni, which will
wrongs
become
make
an
a
issue
right.
again.
The two wrongs make
no,
a
they
right.
Don't. No, they
The
don't.
two wrongs
But
make
get
a right.
little
It's a simple.
information
No, they
about
don't. So if
Kairana.
they don't, then let's not. No. If they don't,
Okay. Well,
ma'am,
no,
there is
Hindus
enough.
aren't
I
gangsters.
started
That's
the
what
debate
you're
by
saying.
saying that the
No.
Samajwadi Party
You-
has
you
rightly
are
pointed
allowing-
out that
you
there are enough
allowing
people.
somebody
The
to
BJP
sit here
has
when
given.
the ruling
Excuse
party is
me.
BJP.
Excuse me.
The ruling party in the center and state, but you are
Madam.
allowing your panelists
Absolute.
to say that
Madam.
Hindus, Islam is a
Madam.
very threatening
Madam.
religion.
Madam.
It's disgusting. And then
Madam.
you allow him to
Madam.
profile
now.
me.
Madam.
I'm sorry.
Rahul,
I'm pointing
Madam,
out to you that this
either
behavior is despicable.
You know,
no,
You are
one
allowing
second.
that.
Madam,
Fine.
madam.
It reflects on
Madam.
you. It reflects on you and him, not on me.
Rahul, may I come into the debate?
Carry
May I
on.
come into the
Okay,
debate?
just a minute.
May I come into the
Just a
debate?
minute. Just a minute. Just a minute.
May I please come into
I
the
can
debate?
allow, no, one second. Saba Naqvi, look, you are venting and venting and venting and venting and venting. You have no point to make tonight. Your basic angst is that you are supporting an individual who says this. And let me just play this out, viewers. What kind of mindset? 1 minute, lower everyone's faders. What kind of mindset, viewers, informs this kind of speech where they call for an apartheid in the constituency where their parents, as Saba Naqvi has pointed out, are great legislators who swear by the constitution to uphold the law. This apartheid mindset, viewers, needs to be exposed here. And I'm playing out this soundbite once again so that viewers understand who Akhilesh has given the ticket to. Dr. Ranganathan has made certain points. He has quoted, not himself, he's quoted Mr. Ambedkar, Dr. Ambedkar, the framer of our constitution. Now, how can he help it if Dr. Ambedkar has made this charge? If it reflects on Dr. Ambedkar's mindset, why do the Muslims want to, and they have gone on record with this meme beam association, why do then they want to join with the beam? If Dr. Ambedkar is a representative of that community, and if he harbors such poison against the Muslim community, why does Saba Naqvi then not come out and say Dr. Ambedkar has a sick mind? Why doesn't she say it? Because viewers, she can't. That's the problem. That's the problem. It's a fact. Why don't you call Dr. Ambedkar what you accuse me of? No, call him. Say that he's a sick mind, that he allows it, it reflects poorly on his sick mind. Say it.
How dare you insult Dr. Ambedkar on the eve of Republic?
You see, viewers, there you go. How dare you. You see, you can attack people, you can attack the anchor, you can get personal with them.
Please have a minute, Rahul.
But hang on. If a man is quoting an individual and he is quoting him correctly, why should that man be trolled? Are we democratic or are we not?
It's the eve of
That's the
Republic
basic
Day.
question.
Please
If we
don't
don't
insult
believe in
Dr.
democracy,
Ambedkar.
we don't need to have a debate. We can just, no, come on. Don't listen, don't get into this, appropriate the moral high ground and all that. It doesn't. These are the facts. Now, 1 minute. Let's play out the soundbite of let's play out the soundbite of Mr. Nahid Hasan. This is what he says, viewers, in public, standing in the center of that town, which is a communally sensitive town, and he calls for an apartheid. And we have here on this panel people who have no problems with that. Let's play it out.
कैराना का सराय का एरिया है जहाँ अभी हम खड़े। यहाँ मेरे वालिद साहब ने, हमारे बड़ों ने इन सभी गरीब लोगों को यहाँ बसाया था, और आज से नहीं कई सालों से ये लोग यहाँ बसे हुए थे। कुछ भाजपा के लोग हैं और कुछ भाजपा दिमाग वाले जो अधिकारी हैं, उन लोगों ने ये साजिश रची इन गरीब लोगों को यहाँ से हटाने की, और इन्हें कह दिया कि ठेली जो है वो यहाँ लगेगी। अब ये बता दो यहाँ कौन आदमी जो है आके इनके खरीद लेगा? इनका रोजगार ठप कर दिया, इनके घर उजाड़ दिए यहाँ से। मेरी आप सभी से ये अपील है, सभी कैराने के लोगों से और आस-पास के जितने भी गांव के हैं जो यहाँ कैराना में सामान लेते हैं, ये मेरी हाथ जोड़ के आपसे अपील है, इन भाजपा के जितने भी लोग जो यहाँ बाजार में हैं, इनसे सामान लेना बंद कर दो। सबकी बेहतराई इसी में ही है। थोड़े दिन का कष्ट उठा लो, इधर उधर ले लो। ये जो बाजार में ये जो लोग भाजपा के बैठे, इनकी तबीयत में सुधार आ जाएगा। इन्हें पता चल जाएगा जो है हमारे पैसों से हम जब चीज लेते हैं तब इनका घर चलता है।
तबीयत में सुधार आ जाएगा। Now, Sanju Verma, the charge, and Sanjay Jha is here also, the charge is very straight. That, what goes around comes around. You field also individuals who have known to make hate speeches, etc., etc. And therefore today we are at this low point in the politics of Uttar Pradesh. That you have fielded and Saba Naqvi named individuals. Would you like to respond?
Okay, Rahul, unlike some of the other participants who are confused about their identity, I want to make it very clear that what I say in my capacity as the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, without any ifs or buts whatsoever. The most important point is this, that there has been this constant attempt to legitimize bigotry. There has been the constant attempt to delegitimize Hindu phobia. The fact is, Hindu phobia is there for real. And let me educate one of the panelists who said that, Hukum Singh, the late Hukum Singh, he actually went back on his words. No, he actually placed a list of 346 families before the Shamli district court who were forced to leave Kairana, and thereafter, that time the MP from Aligarh, also a BJP leader.
Sanju Verma, that's fine. The charge is what goes around comes around. If you're going to field people who are bigoted, etc., the opposition will get the license. Would you respond to that?
Please, I waited for 23 minutes. Can I at least come to the moot point? I was coming to what you asked me. I think it's time not to draw false equivalences. I'm tired of this false equivalence. Each time the debate is around a Nahid Hasan, who says, let me remind you, today is the National Girl Child Day. And I remember on your channel, to your reporter, do you know what Nahid Hasan said? When the marriageable age for women was raised from 18 years to 21 years by the Modi government, he said, जब लड़कियों की शादी की उम्र बढ़ा दी जाती है तो वो ज्यादा आवारगी करती हैं. सिर्फ 18 नहीं, 13, 14, 15 साल में इनकी शादी कर देनी चाहिए, नहीं तो ये आवारा बन जाती हैं. So this man is not only booked under the Gangster Act. This man is not only a documented bigot. This man is not only somebody who was remanded to judicial custody on the 15th of January. This man is also somebody who has scant regard for women. So much for Abhishek Sudhir saying he wants to cede the platform to Saba Naqvi. If you are really concerned about women, do you support the statements of Nahid Hasan, who basically said if you don't marry by the age of 14 or 15, you are a promiscuous woman? That is the long and short of what he said. And I also want to say one more thing. Let us not compare a non-cognizable offense.
But you haven't answered my question.
I will finish in 20 seconds.
Look, we have enough evidence to suggest that this man has stretched the...
Can I please finish?
Has taken the discourse. No, I'm asking you this question. No, that's fine. We all know his background. I've played out his sound bites. We've got the quotes on air. I'm asking you. The charge is what goes around comes around. Why grumble? How would you respond to that? Straight.
Yes, so I'm making this very clear to you. I will give you the best example of how we don't support bigotry, we don't support crime. The fact is today Ashish Mishra Teni, the son of Ajay Mishra Teni MOS home, is not roaming around scot-free. He is behind prison bars. And I challenge Saba Naqvi. She had even tweeted that Ashish Mishra Teni will never go to jail. He was interrogated for 13 hours and is today cooling his heels in the jail. So the fact is, we are not apologists for hate mongers. We are not apologists for bigots. We are not apologists for rabid criminals, unlike the Samajwadi Party. And this is not just one incident.
Sanjay Jha, quick response. Action has been taken. Whether it was the people at Dharam Sansad, they have also been arrested, locked up. It could have taken 5 days, 10 days. The police did its job. These people are locked up. So is Ajay Mishra Teni's son. Your response, sir.
Rahul, very succinctly, I will try and summarize the debate. It will take me less than 1 minute. Number one, both the BJP and the Samajwadi Party benefit from what is called as competitive communalism. So let's kind of not even debate that subject. Second point, very important. Anand Ranganathan did his research. I have done mine. And Rahul, you'll be extremely pleased to note that the Times of India, your mothership organization, a gentleman reporter called Uday Rana did a thorough investigation. And this was his headline. Hindu families in Kairana say Bharatiya Party MP is lying about the exodus. This is Hindu families saying so openly on record.
It's
You're
documented by the National Human Rights Commission. The Kairana exodus is documented publicly by the National Human Rights Commission. How dare Sanjay Jha, a suspended, good for nothing leader of the Congress, come here and try to delegitimize.
1 second, please. Let him finish. Miss Sanju Verma, let him finish. You can respond to him and let him finish, please. This is not acceptable. Please, let him finish. Let him finish. Please, let him finish. You can respond. We are not going anywhere. Please respond. After he finishes. Yes.
Okay.
I gave you the chance. You can respond right after, ma'am. You can respond right after. There's no one running away. Please trust me on this. Let him finish his...
Yeah. Number two.
It's not over. Just give us 30 seconds. Let him finish his point. Yeah.
An
Yes,
Indian investigation of 22 of the people named by Hukum Singh showed that 10 of them had left 5 to 10 years earlier. 4 of them were dead. They were not even living. It was a fabrication, a fictitious imagination of Hukum Singh. And 5 of them had left for better jobs. And now the fundamental point. Mr. Adityanath himself has hate speeches. Do we need to find out who was arrested, spent 11 days in jail for the famous 2007 hate speech and got approved?
Okay.
Do we not know that 40% of the BJP...
So fine. So the last point is, as you, coming back to what you said earlier, what goes around comes around, but 2 wrongs don't make a right. I hope we're at least agreed on that.
May I please?
If we are, good. Yes. Sanju Verma, your response on point 1 and point 2, that this was not an exodus, it's a fabrication, and they're quoting X and Y journalists. Go ahead.
Rahul, I will just make a few pointed rebuttals. Point number 1. It's not just the late Hukum Singh who listed 346 families who had to face the exodus. BJP MP Satish Gautam also listed it, and this has been admitted in the Shamli District Court by saying there was no Kairana exodus. He and Sanjay Jha are actually challenging what the Shamli Court said. It has admitted to the fact that there was indeed an exodus. Tomorrow Sanjay Jha will come on Rahul Shivshankar show and say that, you know, there was no exodus of Kashmiri Pandits. Is that what you're going to say next? There was no exodus of Kashmiri Pandits. Let me finish, Rahul. Let me finish. I've been listening very patiently to a suspended leader who has no locus standi. I want to ask one thing. Rahul. Congress comes here and gives a lecture on majoritarianism. The fact is, the problem today is minoritism. Ask Sanjay Jha, why is the Tawqir Raza being legitimized by this Congress? Ask Sanjay Jha, why did they legitimize an Imran Masood before he decided to jump ship? Ask Sanjay Jha, why did they ally with the SCPI in Karnataka? Ask the Congress, why did they ally with the Radical Welfare Party in Kerala? Ask the Congress, why did they ally with Abbas Siddiqui in West Bengal? The Congress has legitimized.
I think Sanjay Jha knows that some of his own friends in the G23 had a problem with the tie-up in Bengal. Fair enough. Okay.
Can
now,
this lady answer about the genocide of Muslims called in Haridwar under a BJP government in Uttarakhand?
Okay, no, hang on. Sanjay Jha, let me tell you, there are a large number of people who... 1 second, now let's not... No, all this shouting doesn't work. Shut them down, please. Let me bring in Dr. Ranganathan. Okay, let me bring in Dr. Ranganathan. Relax.
Yes.
Guys, please.
Thank you.
Please, silence. 30 seconds. Please. Dr. Ranganathan. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Rahul. And it begs repeating, although it's very unfortunate because you are one of the most established anchors here and you always give everyone equal opportunity. It's a 1-hour debate. I come prepared. I get my 2 minutes. I don't interrupt any fellow panelists. I don't heckle. I don't mock. I don't ridicule. But if some panelist does it, you have to give him or her that memo that I'm not going to sit back and take it. I'm going to give as good as I get. Point number 1. Point number 2. Sanjay made an important point, but I have to add here, Sanjay, that the Shamli Court, Miss Sanju Verma is absolutely right. Shamli Court and NHRC have both accepted that, yes, indeed, an exodus took place. Who has not historically accepted an exodus? I will name them. Mamata Banerjee says that exodus after the post-Bengal elections did not take place to Assam. Gilani said there was no exodus. So you have to choose your company, Sanjay. Gilani or Mamata or the district court or NHRC. Now, what are you going to choose?
Okay, Sanjay Jha.
Yeah,
Respond.
Rahul, let me tell
Sanjay
you,
Jha, respond.
there are conflicting reports, and you know that.
Look, okay, we've lost Sanjay Jha there. We are trying to reconnect with him. Skype connection is frozen. Look, viewers, let me tell you how things work on the ground. Yeah, I'm just coming back to Sanjay Jha. Yeah, we can hear you. I'll tell you how things work on the ground, viewers. Victims, when they are faced with the prospect of returning back to their homes, and I can speak from some experience here, they will try their level best to mend fences because they have to live that reality once again. They can't be sitting there waving the banner of protest and victimhood. It's a known fact. You have to swallow it and go back. And that's what's happened. A large number of these reports, and look, I don't swear by anyone's journalism except for Times Now. So throwing other people's reportage, and when we have looked at some of these stories, we have found massive glaring errors. So that doesn't cut it with me, your mothership and your sistership and all that. That doesn't cut it with me. Times Now reports. Times Now goes on the ground. We also went there, viewers. We also have reports of people on our cameras saying that there was a huge problem. Now, subsequently, we know that witnesses, cases suffer from U-turns, hostile witness syndrome. We've seen it. In Malegaon, it is not accepted. In Malegaon, when certain individuals have said that they were forced by the UPA to incriminate Hindus, that is not accepted. But here, a deposition on record, and when individuals go back on it, that is accepted as the gospel. So again, this is, viewers, classic double standards. It just depends on which side of the fence you're on. And let me tell you, viewers, here, this business of giving hate mongers tickets, this is universal pretty much. All political parties are guilty of it. Don't let them fool you. The point is, who's going to put a stop to it? Now, we were told, and that's the debate we were having, that, oh, you see, Yogi has done nothing, this, that, the other, he needs to be kicked out. And who's telling us this? It's the opposition in the shape of Akhilesh Yadav, Mayawati, Priyanka Vadra. But if they're not going to provide a new turn to the political discourse by practicing what they preach, then we are back in the same cesspit. It doesn't matter whether you elect the BJP or you elect the Samajwadi Party or the BSP or what have you. It doesn't make a difference to you and I. We get the same wretched characters to run our lives. I was hoping for some more honesty. I wasn't hoping for this partisan screaming match where, you know, one panelist tosses the ball to the other and you have this sort of invective. I wasn't hoping for that. I was just hoping for someone to rise above this and say, look, this is actually not where we need to be in the 21st century. We are second decade into it. We've got a young demography of people who are in their 30s and their 20s who need to live in a new India and a new reality. Someone's got to roll it back. Well, viewers, you can clearly see that I don't think the political class is ready, and I don't think people who support politicians are ready. And that's where the problem is. Just don't vote for this lot. Press the Nota button. Try it. It might work. I can't encourage people to do this, that, the other because, you know, I'm bound by all sorts of press rules, etc. But there is an option, viewers. There are options. There are options. I'm not asking you to press the button of A or B party. I'm just saying Nota is an option. None of the above. Press it. Rise to the occasion. Save democracy from this prurience